Greetings all, Andy Dukes here again on Ride and Talk, and welcome to our newest episode. Have you taken a look at the latest rider equipment collection? A while back I was privileged to get a sneak preview, and I couldn't believe how far it's come since the early days. The materials, the designs, the innovation, it just blew me away. I just knew there was a deeper story to tell, so I invited BMW Motorrad's head of gear and garment, Markus Pfister, along to share the secret of this success. Let's catch up with him now. Okay, Markus Pfister, welcome to Ride and Talk. Nice to see you and hear you again.
Exactly, Andy. It's so great to be here. I know already now I will enjoy this as I always enjoy our meetings and talks and filmings and everything. We had always a great time, so I'm happy to be here today.
Now, Markus, we've recently seen the rider equipment collection for 2022 unveiled. In fact, you and I had a lot of fun presenting all the gear and garments.
Yes, exactly.
Chatting about the design, styles and functionality, etc. But it got me thinking we needed to go deeper into the background story about all the passion, all the talent and all the love that goes into bringing a collection like this to life. So here we are, and thanks for being our guest today.
Thank you, Andy, for your time and the opportunity.
So now, before we start actually talking about the gear itself, tell us a bit about yourself first, Markus, because you're not from a motorcycle clothing background specifically, but from a fashion background. And that's interesting to me because I remember you telling me a story about digging an old BMW Boxer out of the shed at your parents' place and somehow being inspired. Yeah. So what happened there? And was that the starting point for a career change?
Before BMW, I spent 15 years with a wonderful premium casual brand, taking care of international sales. So I did all the international sales organization, was taking care of the markets of the key accounts. It was a lot about opening stores, monobrand stores, but also like multi-brand business franchise as well, which was also a part. And this type of fashion is a lot about desirability, about the look and feel. It's a premium brand, a wonderful premium brand with a nice heritage. It's about also great gear, garments, great materials and workmanship. So, and this in connection with opening markets. I opened and rebuilt a lot of markets. I took the brand to Asia. We went global. We grew a lot, and 15 years is very unusual in the fashion industry to stay with someone. It's very unusual. You will not find many people. Fashion business can be very funky, it's very communicative, but it can be very exhausting. So I had for years the feeling somehow and it's more a question of the time you have in life. I could have stayed there for long. I still love these people. I love the brand, but I just decided one day I just want to have a kind of a gap year or something. My bucket list got longer and longer. I wanted to go hiking and sailing and so it went. Now we come to the Beamer in the parents' shed. I always in younger days I was riding a lot my motorbike, different bikes, and I got quite early a BMW R100R. The very classic twin stripe spoke wheels, black, like I always say, it's like a child would draw a motorbike. And this I got. We were touring to Greece and to Scotland, and we did always holidays to Tuscany, to Italy, like everywhere around, always with packs and gear and in bad weather and in the Alps. And then I got my daughter, and then somehow, as it often is, the bike disappears a little bit out of your life, but I stored it in my parents' place. And in this gap period, I went out of this job, and I was just open for projects, and I was guiding a little bit small startups, and I was consulting here and there for little tiny projects. I really didn't want to work. I went on long distance hikes, and went weeks to the Mediterranean sailing and stuff like that. And one night I was lying on my sofa and watching the iPad, just screening through, and all of a sudden I got this group of creative and really cool people from Berlin taking the bikes to the Isle of Man. and the group is called Motor Circus in Berlin. And I decided there from the sofa, I go back to my parents' place and take my old bike out. And it was really like I went there in winter. It was dark, and in the light of my mobile phone, I went to the shed, and really the dust was on it. The tires were flat. I was pulling it out. It was outside rainy, snowy, shitty weather in the dark. And I was sitting on this bike and just watching the sky in the rain and sitting on his bike, holding the handlebar. And I don't know if I did maybe the sound as well, but and there I decided I'm gonna take this bike out. And from there I went by accident to a fashion fair to Berlin. By accident ran via some fashion people into the motor circus people. I said to these guys, you brought me back on the bike. And hey, what do you do? Fashion industry. Da, da, da. Yeah, BMW. We heard they do something and they wanted to have more gear and garment and more stuff like that. So, and with the dealer in my parents' area, he said to me like, you should get connected with in Munich with the BMW people. And then I met my former boss for a dinner. And I told him all this story. He said, and how are you? What are you doing? And we went to a little Italian place here in the area where I live. And I said, yeah, well, the BMW and a motorbike. And he said, yeah, I know some people there in the management. I know my daughter goes to school with one of the board members, and I can connect you with them, and I give you the address, whatever. And this is how it went. And all of a sudden, I was finding myself in the office of Dr. Ralf Rodepeter and Timo Resch was there, and we had such a great talk about the industry, about the mechanism of marketing, about stores and point of sale and desirability of clothes, and they just said, if you want to join, then jump in. And that was, I think, January 19 or something, almost 3 years ago. And so this is how the fashion guy got into motorbike and sitting on his bike. I have my old Beamer up and running, and I ride it on the weekends. And I'm just still back on the bike in my business, doing in a way the same things I always did. And it's such a nice combination.
Fantastic. Well, if you can combine your passions and do what you love. And for a living, they say you never work a day in your life. So fair play to you, Markus. That's brilliant. I enjoyed that story. But I guess one really important question for you to answer, though, is why is BMW Motorrad developing the gear and garments in the first place? I mean, it's a lot more than simple brand extension, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And I have a deep respect not only for the brand and the company, but as well like for this decision they made. Well, more than 40 years ago, I think BMW started to do gear back in 1978. I think these people, they understood they understood the use case. I think they were keen riders. They understood we should not build only the bike. You need an equipment. And well, with a motorbike, it really makes sense. It's not just a marketing thing. It's first of all, you need this helmet. You need and it will always be a kind of a weather protection. You need a jacket, and you need some protection. You want to do this, and now we clearly said in a strategic approach again, we will do this for the brand, but we will do this as a serious business. We want to earn money with it. We take it serious, and we make a full collection, because we want to give the people a full set of experience. It's not just about a bike manufacturer. There are other bike manufacturers. It's BMW in general develops more like towards an experience brand. So it's riding the bike, having the equipment, going for a training, going for a trip, for a trophy event, for a rider school and stuff like that. So it's more about an experience thing, not just the technical part of a bike. And there is a natural logic thing. You have to develop some great equipment.
Yeah, it's the full package, isn't it? And it's funny. I was looking at some of the old rider equipment and accessories catalogs from the 1970s, and boy, you can see how far things have come since then. I mean,
Yeah,
even though these were pioneering designs and materials at the time, in my opinion,
yeah.
the actual style of the items left a lot to be desired. Mind you, I guess if you look at any family photos from the 1970s, we were all wearing some pretty interesting gear then, weren't we? But for sure, there's a lot more emphasis now on how the gear looks and feels, both on and off the bike, isn't there?
As in other sports. And here we get a connection to sports industry, to the outdoor industry. Whatever you look into, mountain biking or other kind of sports where you need equipment, people get like, they want special things. They want things tailor-made for this use case. I think 30, 40 years ago, it was like you ride your bike, and there was not this kind of use cases or these customer types. And today we speak the spirit of GS, and we speak soul fuel. It's both bikes, it's both cool riders. They both take their sport or their hobby really serious, but the people demand special things for it, which really pays into the use and which makes the use fun. And it's a lot about the style itself. I mean, riding a motorbike is not just to ride from A to B. It's a lifestyle. It's a style. You are outdoor somehow. You have the temperatures, the air around you, the sound. You are connected to the environment, and then it's also about the look. The look of a bike. I mean, people invest so much just into the look of the bike, and also on the equipment. And people got more demanding, saying, I want exactly the fitting thing for my type of riding. And I think people are riding these days in the wider spectrum. You have these commuters going to work in an urban environment. You have this adventure-seeking people going around the world. And you have this soul kind of hipster style of people really connected to beautiful materials and leathers and denims and stuff. And they go to special places. They go to this restaurant. They buy this apparel. They're wearing these things. And even they have a weekend bag. It's made out of special leather and stuff. And this is how they take care of the bike. But they also want to look like in that style, but they also want the usability, the protection, the comfort, the weather. So we say we deliver something safety, comfort, and style, whether the safety part is more like a hygienic, necessary thing, which we will put not so much in the focus anymore as in the early days. So it's there. It's like a safety belt in the car. You will not sell anymore a car saying, hey, and it's very safe. It's a safety belt and an airbag. No, it's there. It has to work. It has to be comfy. But you are not putting this so much in focus anymore.
Absolutely not. And I think that perhaps what our listeners may not know is that there's a team. You mentioned team earlier, but there's a real team of passionate designers, most of whom also ride motorcycles.
Yes.
Working on creating these distinctive suits that people really want to wear, not just because, as you say, they work functionally, but because they're also comfortable enough to wear while away from the bike, like touring or going to a cafe or wandering around. So tell us a little bit about your design teams, Markus.
It's good we mention this, because it's not just sometimes people think, well, it's a big corporate stock exchange listed manufacturer who does bikes, and they will order some jackets and t-shirts and print BMW Motorrad on it. That's it. No, it is what is really an outstanding thing. There is a team. It's a core team of, let's say, 15 people developing designing the things from scratch. And we think in these use cases, we make a special program for Soul Fuel, for Spirit of GS, for more urban things, and it's all one collection. We say it's one thing. It's one BMW Motorrad Gear and Garment story. It goes hand in hand. It's more now made like a sports good industry or fashion brand, and it's the full use case. It's for rainy, for terrible weather, for cold use, for warm weather, and everything goes together with some complementary casual products, because the people, they ride their bikes for days and weeks, couple of hours during the weekend, but they want to transport as well the image of what they do to the office, or when they go to the pizza place in the evening, they still wear this kind of T-shirt with the old GS on it, saying, yeah, spirit of GS or something. They want to take this brand and this with them. And I'm also saying to the management sometimes, or in the team, most probably they wear our gear longer than they ride the bike. So they wear this also during winter time. They go to the office wearing this sweater saying "Make life a ride" or something. And this we feed, and this we love, and the team is exactly what you say, Andy. It's passionate, whether garment people, very experienced. When I joined the company, I found a bunch of very experienced, very dedicated people there. Also, when you look in the construction, in the engineering of helmets, it's high tech. It's a lot of specifications, it's a lot of requirements. You have to. It's not just kind of a t-shirt thing. It's
Yeah, you can't get to those levels without understanding why it's a
yeah.
need. Why you need those high levels of quality and innovation. And I just want to touch on innovation. I mean, BMW Motorrad's been responsible for so much of this over the past 4 decades of bringing us rider gear. I mean, if you think about the first entire motorcycle suit in the 1970s, the world's first flip-up helmet in 1981, first Gore-Tex suit in 1986. I mean, the list goes on, and as you said earlier, there are BMW bikes in every segment now with very different requirements. The differences for what a GS rider living on gravel roads in South Africa might need compared to a tourer on an RT dodging rain showers in Scandinavia, or an R18 owner doing a coast-to-coast ride across North America. I mean, how do you ensure all of their different needs are met?
Well, one thing I think is important is what you say, that most of them riding themselves, and it's not a necessity. Like when you get people on board, it's not like automatically you are riding a bike, so you know what the equipment is. It's a lot about manufacturing processes. It's a lot, but you need to understand the use case. And this team, it's interesting. In the team, they ride different type of styles. We have these adventurous riders. We have more these kind of soul fuel riders. So it's always the discussions about the styling of the things, but also the design is more than drawing a nice color. Design is like getting the buttons right, having the zippers in the right place. We discuss a lot like, do you wear the gloves outside or inside when it's raining? And then the fight starts. No, you never wear it outside. No, I always wear it inside. So no, the wind comes from the front here. It will blow the water inside and stuff like that. So we enjoy these different taste, opinions, experiences, and that makes that's the first point of getting the things right. And what is also useful, these people doing as well other things. We have one guy. He's was like a professional bicycle guy. Like he was riding all his childhood bicycle races, and he's now a really great mountain biker. And so the people bring ideas from other kind of sports where materials coming from, because these days you don't have this variety in innovation anymore in terms of material, in terms of this type of innovations, like the first Gore-Tex suit or the first flip-up helmet. It was really like benchmarks, really waypoints, really highlights. You will not have this each and every year. You cannot construct this. These days it seems like everything is there. So it goes about getting the things lighter, the materials better, the long lastingness. We just decided about a new strategy of premium product strategy. So we will get more better ingredients in it. We will just simply add value to the pieces by using better ingredients to get it done. So in all this, you need a team, you need the discussion about it, you need open eyes also into other sports. We go to sports fairs, we look at other sports brands, what they are doing, and we look on the fashion side as well, because as I said, the styling is as well one aspect in it. At the end, you also want to look cool on your bike when you park it in front of the cafe.
There are so many different factors that go into making those decisions, aren't there? And then when you consider going into new segments, such as plug to life, all of the e-bikes that are starting to come through, and then the owner's requirements are different. They might just see their ride as the most efficient and sustainable way to get them across the city to work or to meet friends downtown, where they know they can park close to their destination. So if you think about a new segment like that, how do you design gear that works for them? Not just in terms of how it looks, but also in terms of protecting them.
Yes, we call the segment plug to life. And in this kind of, when you say urban mobility, this kind of going around urban places in any type of weather, there are two extremes coming together. First of all, from the design part, how it looks, the whole look and feel should be more kind of premium casual looking urban. You do not necessarily want to look like a motorbike rider. So it's urban colors, it's not like stripes and protectors and zippers and stuff. So it's a kind of a trench coat look, maybe like a jacket you would wear from any other urban oriented premium casual brand, maybe. And then comes the protective side in it, and what is new, where innovation is for sure. There is a kind of, and this is kind of a future way, is more like this connectivity, like people are connected anyway, everywhere, and now it comes as well that you are connected with the bike. You get like information from the bike, you use the bike's information in your garments, you have connectivity in terms of communication. As you carry the music around, you have maybe a kind of illumination built in, which is very discreet, which is very subtle there. You do not want to look like a Christmas tree when you are riding around the city, but if it's crappy weather and it's getting dark and you were sitting in the office for hours and you want to get home, you feel maybe a bit scared on the road, so you switch your illumination on in your gear, in your jacket, and this is for sure a field where we will see more in the future. Also in the touring segment, in the off-road segment, a kind of connection with your gear, the rider more connected with the bike, controlling things from the controller at the bike, handling heating, cooling, illumination, ventilation, all this kind of stuff in your gear. And this is certainly a direction which is not easy to get. It's a lot of engineering, construction, a lot of investment in it. But once we get things on the road there, it's a lot of with electronics, with programming, application, software stuff. It goes beyond just zippers and nice fabrics, but the look of it is very nice design, urban, subtle type of thing. And that's for sure an interesting field for the people and for us as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, really interested to see more of that coming our way. And also it's, one of the things that you sort of touched on in terms of the innovation is the research and the development, the sheer amount of it, and the testing that must go on behind the scenes in order to arrive at the best materials in terms of durability, comfort, functionality, yes, longevity, and of course performance. So could you say, I know you can't give away any secrets, but could you say something about this, because it's a massive, massive project to bring anything new to the market, isn't it?
And imagine, why I'm laughing about it is not, it's a serious subject, but why I'm laughing is, and imagine at the German, in a way, car manufacturer, with all the processes, with all the lab tests, with all the, and here the sports industry would be a little bit more casual, like with color fastness, with tearing, abrasion resistance. Although we have to fulfill hard facts when it comes to testing, certification, homologation, like getting a serious jacket on the road. You have to fulfill testings which are done outside your place. You send the goods somewhere, and they pass the test or they fail. It's a catalog of things you have to fulfill. But this is what all manufacturers have to do. They all undergo the same testing, and what we always try is we want to add more to it. We want to overdo the testings, and more tearing, more abrasion, but as well we color fastness and stuff. And why I'm laughing is when you do this at the place of a German vehicle manufacturer, you can imagine they take this very serious. You have all these checklists and all these Excel sheets going through, and also the meetings to it. And when there are quality issues or problems, it's really serious. Like when we have kind of we also do things wrong from time to time. We get materials. You rely on materials from other manufacturers. Or when it comes color fastness, you put the jacket in the sun and it's a bit fading, and then kind of a German engineer thinking is and there are the bikes and the apparel really connected. They take this very, very serious, and then we better leave this away from the market instead of saying, yeah, well, sell it and see what's happening. What maybe other manufacturers are, or like more in the apparel industry, is more likely a little looser attitude towards it. But I also don't. I have to be honest at this stage, and I think we can also be fair enough. Also, we have sometimes things in the market which are coming back, or we do things wrong. But the way we get also claims, But the way we handle claims is certainly seriously taken, and we try to learn from these things and bring it into the next product. And it doesn't matter if it's boots or gloves or helmets or also materials, we constantly try to get better with materials and in the leathers and stuff. For instance, in leather, we try now to go in materials which are like certified. There is a leather working group, LWG, leather working group, a connection of brands and manufacturers certifying certain type of leathers for kind of ingredients being in the tanning process, the coloring and stuff like that. So this is more like done in a vehicle manner, and this is sometimes it's very impressive to see, and sometimes of course funny when you come more from the fashion side. But that's
sometimes frustrating, I imagine.
Of course,
as well.
We have to say it, of course,
Yeah, but of course, like the race for quality, it has no finishing line.
Yeah.
And you can only improve things by making the occasional mistake and learning from that, and keeping going. So no, it's really interesting to hear that there are so many processes that allow you to effectively, if you put a BMW Motorrad stamp on anything, it has to have certain quality standards, doesn't it? So
yeah, our sign is there, the logo is there, so you say BMW Motorrad, so it has to be
absolutely,
it has to meet the requirements.
Yeah. Now, something else that intrigues me is the sizing of gear. As I said earlier, you and I recently presented that new collection, and we were accompanied by a selection of attractive male and female models who are able to show off the gear a lot better than you and I could.
Yeah. This is why they got models for it.
Yeah. But there are so many variations in sizes and shapes across the globe. And as BMW Motorrad is a global brand, how do you take this into account to make sure that there is something for everybody in the range?
That's a difficult one, and it's demanding, and you have to see as well. You fight. Or it's also a question of money, of investment. Of course, you can say we are on the whole world. We are selling the gear and garment to all the markets. with all the shape of bodies. It's a very complex topic. It's like when you build a bike, the bike is there. Maybe you do different heights in the seating position or another handlebar, stuff like that. But when it comes to apparel, the comfort factor when you sit long hours on the bike, the stuff needs to look good and it needs to feel good. And we have to see it as well. It's not just a good looking jacket, it's a kind of equipment. It's made for the use case. And we know the bikes, we know the shape of the bikes. And then when it comes to shape of body measures, of course, we cannot do it in the same way for all the markets, for both genders. We started, for instance, now doing more towards the in female sizes and in female shapes, and that's a difficult one. It's not just you do a few female sizes and that's it. To get the right fit, especially for a female body, is not. You have different heights, you have different widths, especially pants, and the pants sitting on the bike is an important thing. How your bum is then here protected or sitting in this pair of pants is like it's deciding about, do you love this suit or not, or are you throwing it away after 2000 Ks and saying, oh, I get a better another one, I don't like it, and it's as well, it's also a safety aspect, when you feel comfy. We all know this, riding long hours in crazy weather conditions is like you get tired, you get cold, and then the right fit is as well a safety thing. When you feel comfy, you sit on it, you feel great, and then you can also ride your bike good. But it is, I have to be honest, it's a challenge, especially when you want to say, I want to enlarge this, I want to go on the more on the female side as well, which I like, because I like the girls wearing as well like proper stuff and not just a male style in a smaller size or something. This I find not so nice, and
massively important.
But
yeah.
It is an investment. It's like the more money you invest, the better it gets. The more workforce you put in, the bigger the team gets, the more you can do. Of course, it has to be a kind of a compromise or kind of a solution. We also have to see where do we sell the quantities. It's as well economical aspects in it as well.
Yeah, so many factors to take into consideration. And of course, a really important element of that are the dealers, which I just want to touch on, because, for many riders, that's their first port of call for advice, isn't it? Advice on clothing, it's their local dealer. So would you say that Gear and Garment is a really important part of the overall service offering for dealers?
We say yes. When I said earlier in the beginning, taking the bike more as a kind of an experience thing, and these days people want to go to one place and get everything done. Is people are not investing so much time and effort anymore like 20-30 years ago, where maybe the motorbike was the only thing they did. These days the people go sailing and riding a mountain bike and everything. They do so they want to go to a place where they get it all fixed and done and get it ready. So we see this as well when they purchase new bikes. I think it's the likeliness that the people say, get me a suit, a helmet, some pair of boots and gloves and stuff. It's more likely these days than 20-30 years ago.
Like a one-stop shop.
Yeah, exactly. And you have to see as well that the equipment, the better someone explains to you, the better you try it on, you try things, you consider it, you think about, the better it fits you, the more fun you have with it. So the dealer is still, everyone, of course, is now e-commerce businesses as well, a factory like people ordering the stuff and try it at home. But the dealer is still an important place, and many dealers take it more and more serious with the Gear Garment as well. They see this as a second thing, and when you just see the business side of it, no matter how you love your GS that you buy, you will buy one, even if you love it, and you spend your 25,000 on your wonderful GS, but then it's as well for the dealer. First of all, it's a service to the people, to the consumer, and then of course it's as well additional business for them. They just make you happy one more time again. You get back to them, you can connect it with your service visit, and when you go back in winter, get your bike serviced, and then you try the new things on and get your stuff and leave the place again. So the dealer is still we have more than 1,000 of them all across the globe, and it's still a very important, the point of sale, we call it a point of soul, where they experience all our ranges and try it on and purchase it from there.
Yep, spent far too much money in those places, I can tell you. Now, everyone's talking about sustainability now, and with good reason too. But, when it comes to clothing, we want to know where it comes from, what materials are used, what processes are involved. And I personally also think that sustainability should also include the quality of construction and how long a garment is designed to last. I mean, I've got some riding suits that are over 20 years old, so surely that should be a factor too. But what's BMW Motorrad's take on sustainability when it comes to its gear and garment collections?
Well, first of all, sustainability gets in the whole BMW group more and more a topic. Is the top management is making statements more and more often. Of course, a car manufacturer these days, they cannot go around, and they don't want to go around. And in general, we love the subject and the topic. And we also, with gear and garment, when I started for BMW, I said to the guys, if you are not open to this side of the business, then I'm not so interested anymore, because I see it in the sports good industry, in the fashion industry. It's a huge topic. And of course, we know how much trouble in general apparel does to the world where it's manufactured, all the working processes and stuff. And one easy thing, especially when it comes to equipment, is to say, let's construct something which lasts long. And here we invest more than in the past. We said we agreed on a premium product strategy, also in terms to say we do the things even better than before. They should last long. Of course, we like you come back next year and buy a new suit. Of course, it's also business, of course, but why not you buy something additional for warmer weather conditions? Still, the business it's not against business. Of course, the price will go up if something is more lasting longer. So it's less material, is less quantity for a higher value. And the higher value, of course, is a higher price when you get your bill. But as well, it's for the environment. We all prefer you have your wonderful suit and you get along with it a long time, and it should be like where we will go more deeper in it should be more repairable. It should have more like recycling materials in it, but also being better able to get recycled afterwards. So be careful in mixing and matching materials into the thing, which makes it difficult. And then, of course, the printing, the dyeing, the coloring processes, and especially the sports goods industry, they run now a lot of initiatives with labels, which are really like hard fact labels, not just greenwashing, nice words. We love the environment and we do great things. I think everyone says this these days, but when you look at, for instance, the blue sign certificate, or like in the casual segment, we switched immediately to organic cotton. Like the farming of cotton on the world is really causing trouble, with water, with like the manufacturing of one T-shirt is using 2,000 liters of drinking water, and it's very often it's just scary, and very often in countries where clean water is anyway an issue. So we say we do this, but we want to do it in a much better way, and we immediately 2 years ago switched to organic cotton. We we went with better qualities, with better workmanship to give it a bit more long lasting. And we maybe a couple of years ago, it was more like this idea of having some merchandise feeding a brand. But these days we take it serious, saying it's serious equipment, is serious apparel, casual, even if it's just a casual t-shirt, but it can be done very nice. You wash it 20 times, you still love it. It's getting nicer and nicer, even it gets a little bit bleached and you love it and you wear it for years. I think that's a feasible, fair way we can go even without the big sustainable big concept. And then of course a bit more into circular economy, using the things again, maybe like cycling it up and stuff like that. We have concepts up and running here, and we will deliver more in this direction. And sustainability is a big part of our premium product strategy, which we put in place 1.5 years ago.
Yeah, that's good to hear. So many ways that you can make a difference. And yeah, I totally agree. And it's funny because I've got loads of BMW t-shirts, some of them dating back, 8, 9, 10 years. And people say, why are you still wearing that one from 2014? I say two reasons. One, it's so good. The quality just keeps, it doesn't matter how many times you wash it, it does not wear out. And two, I know how many litres of water it goes into creating these things. So as soon as I've finished with it, it'll get passed on to someone else. As soon as they've finished it, it'll eventually become a rag to clean my motorcycle with. So good to know about all the sustainability initiatives.
It's definitely, we don't want to do things like the fast fashion industry, like carrying around the t-shirt 5 times around the globe and then retailing it for 5, 8 or 10 bucks. We simply don't want to do this, and we don't have to. And I think a motorbike rider is still a conscious person, is still an environmental conscious person, and it's a bit of passion from myself. My colleagues would laugh about it now. I come around the desk quite often with sustainability, and I also have requested some budget for next year, really to go more into research and concept, and we will buy some know-how in as well from brands which are more which have the sustainability really in their core of the brand, and which are further than in research and know-how. So we buy some know-how there, and we will develop much more in this direction.
Yeah, good to know. Good to know that you can actually learn from other brands as well who are doing things in a right way, or maybe a little bit ahead of the curve on you on that one. So fantastic.
You have to see as well the industry is further. 10, 15 years ago, no one was requesting this, but now people will come to the store and asking. We get now emails. Do you have vegan motorcycle shoes? Do you have boots, or do you have? So we get requests from consumers about these type of things, and we will act on this. It's also because of ourselves, of our passion for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there one suit that would work for me off-road, on tour, in the city, even on the occasional track day? I mean, does such a thing exist in the current collection?
Well, realistically, when you see it for the optimum use case, you will have different type of jackets, gloves and stuff, because the range you made up now goes from -degrees to +40, and you in the city and out the city. But of course, the rally suit, for instance, is famous, and even we changed the naming strategy of all the collections and capsules, and in the different segments, the name rally stood there. And even if we developed the rally suit more in a new way, we kept the name rally. And but there are other new materials coming up. There is, for instance, the Caracom, which I ride when I ride the GS Adventure, and of course I had the fun to test ride these things as well. The Caracom is a new material. It's a kind of a soft shell thing. It is more flexible. The material is flexible. You combine this, is airy, it's light. You feel like wearing a jogging suit. It's still with very good protection, with NP Pro protection. So on the latest stage, it gives you a lot of safety comfort. The style is very modern, very sporty, very new. It's inspired from mountain biking, rock climbing inspirations. Also, the colorway is a very modern suit, and it comes in combination with a Gore-Tex outsert. So you combine the things. You have an insert, an outsert. You take it in different temperature environments and different weather conditions. But then when you say riding through the city, this changed a little bit within the last years. The people will also ride a black leather jacket when they feel like riding to the beer garden or something, with a pair of protected denim and maybe still an adventure boot or something that looks cool, you know. So the mix and match of things is when it comes to the look and feel and the use cases. So you will not have just one suit. I think when you ride so passionate as you describe it, and you have your GS and you ride it to work, you ride it on the weekend, on holiday, you will have a little bit of different equipment, and maybe you ride it with an open face helmet, with a classic cool looking bowler helmet in the city with just a leather jacket, a pair of sneaker. We started the sneaker thing. We going to develop more and more sneaker styles, and the sneaker styles, they come as well, and it just look sporty, cool, casual, but they are as well protected. You know, the soles are oil resistant, and you know it's ankle protection there, and so you combine the things in a more casual way. You might have the rally suit, the Caracom, maybe you have a pair of denim, a cool looking leather jacket, you have your GS helmet, Evo helmet, and you might have a kind of an open face thing or something. And some casuals, and then your wardrobe is full and you are happy.
Yeah, I'm happy, but I have no money in the bank. That's the problem, isn't it? There's just there's no one suit that does everything. But you know, I like to use a bike for just about as many things as I can. So I'm interested to know about you personally, though, Markus. Outside of the Caracom, for example, I mean, I'm always interested to see what people in the company choose to ride, first of all, but also what they wear. So, which items from the 2022 collection do you think you're going to be wearing this year and beyond?
Well, as I said, in the GS, when I go on longer trips on the weekend, like and on the GS adventure, I have the Caracom then for the season, also to see how it works, and of course we want to develop it further, also to learn about to see how it works. But I really love the comfort aspect in it, and when I ride my old bike, the one from the shed in the parents' place, the R100R, is still in good shape, and I really love it. And this one I take around. I live in Upper Bavaria, a little bit outside of Munich, and you have these wonderful country roads, a little bit hilly, and most likely in summertime you end up in the beer garden, where you enjoy your alcohol-free beer and a pair of sausages and stuff like that, or a good schnitzel. And then you have, for instance, as well, the leather jacket. It's called Schwabing, with some nice stripes. It's a kind of a retro, cool-looking, but still modern leather jacket. Good protection, cool look. It's a casual, little bit retro style look. There is a jacket I really love, is called Dahlem. This is more from the Soul Fuel side, you know, and this I wear on my old Beamer. And then it's one I also really love is the suit Furka. It's people listening now is they know the Atlantis from former times, and when I joined the gang, I said this. I know the suit from earlier years. I know it from my riding times, and I always loved it. But the style, of course, was a little bit outdated. It's like when things are good, you leave it maybe a little bit too long. And we all said we are passionate about the material. It's a waxy kind of nubuck leather. Some people say it's waterproof, which is technically not really true, but you find a lot of people say I was riding it 6 hours in the rain and it's still proof, because it's a hydrophobic treatment of the leather. It's when you are doing the tanning process of the leather, you add some waxy aspects in it, and this wax goes between the leather fibers, and so makes it a kind of a waterproof but still breathable. So it's not a laminated thing. It's a very natural feel. It's a very and so we all simply loved this suit, but we said it needs to look different. And we reshaped it. We made it more modern, more straight. The jacket was very short. It was a kind of a blue zone style, and we made just a bit shapy, a few centimeters longer jacket. So the suit is meeting the highest quality aspects. It's the certifications, and so we renovated the thing, gave it a new life, and I'm sure this suit is a wonderful one. We will sell it again very well, and it's a wonderful thing. And this is something, when you say I buy this for the next couple of years, I take it to holiday, I wear it on the weekend, and then you pair this up with a pair of denim. You just take the jacket, a pair of denim, maybe a sneaker, a couple of light gloves, and an open face bowler helmet, and then you make your few kilometers in the evening after work and ending at the beer garden.
Ah, do you know what? It's lovely to hear and picture that story as I'm sitting here on a grey, dark November evening
Me too.
in the UK. But you know what? It's something to look forwards to, isn't it? And speaking of the future and looking forwards to things, Markus, I mean, what of the future? I'm not talking 30 years ahead, but maybe just over the next decade. You know, what we spoke a little bit earlier about some of the connected technology, but what other innovations would you like to see coming into the market, you know, when it comes to, say, intelligent clothing and equipment?
Yeah, as I said earlier, that's the all kind of connected, adaptive, like, as you say, intelligent stuff with kind of sensoring, with climate comfort things, or the helmet, with a kind of, which is due to homologation, not really at this stage possible, but will definitely goes in the direction of head-up display, things in the connectivity, your phone, your music, your navigation, speaking to you, kind of. You do things. We test ride a lot, like censoring stuff. You do a wrong corner, or you are leaving the lane, and there is traffic coming in your way. So something vibrating, something giving you a signal or a sound, and then as well, like noise canceling and stuff like that. Where I said at the beginning, well, I want to hear the sound of my engine, but it's not this kind of noise canceling taking you away from it all. You still hear you hear the wind blowing. And when my colleague constructing the helmets, I know this one evening I went home from the office, um, and I can go the short way on the highway, or I can go a little bit the longer way. Then it's 120 kilometers, but taking you over a nice Bavarian Alpine pass, and you come through some valleys. And I had this helmet from Gregor from the team, and he gave me, it's all equipped. You just put it on. It's your size. It's wonderful. So I jumped on my GS and went home from the office, and switched this noise canceling on and put the music in, and everything was connected. Then he said, I will give you a phone call later. And I went in the sun in the evening on these empty roads in the mountains, and I just said, I have such a great job. I'm together with so great people, and I enjoyed this so much. And then I thought, it is this kind of, where will the future go? It will be a connected, comfy thing, with heating, with venting, and all a bit more intelligent. But as well, we will see as well this aspect of light materials, lighter weights, packing, measurements. So it will be still a lot of innovation in just simple textile materials, and as well the style will change. Of course, it's now it's getting a little bit more clean again, more subtle. Whether the styling a couple of years was more flashy, more stripes and stuff like that. So now it's more about the bike again. So the rider is a little bit in the background, styling wise. But innovation in terms of connectivity with the bike, with applications, with illumination and stuff, that will be a lot of things going on there.
Brilliant. Good to know. Thanks, Markus. Well, we're just about out of time now, but it's been a real pleasure talking to you in more depth about these topics, which I'm sure our listeners are going to find really interesting. Thanks for coming on Ride and Talk, and I'll no doubt catch up with you soon for that beer we keep promising ourselves, perhaps this time in Berlin at BMW Motorrad Days.
Thank you, Andy, and thank you for the opportunity to promote here what we do. I enjoyed the talk with you as always, Andy. So it was fun, and hope to see you soon. And all the very best to you, and talk to you another time.
Cheers, Markus. Please keep doing what you're doing, because there's some seriously hot gear and cool gear too being designed by your talented team. You've really raised the bar in all areas, and I can't wait to get my hands on some of those new designs. Thanks again for entertaining us with your stories today, and good luck with the coming season. Thanks to all of you out there for tuning in too. It's kind of a niche topic, but an important one nonetheless. Until next time, bye for now.